Hi, welcome back again to Smirking Gun, where we're doing our Better Call Saul Season 2, Episode 6 review of Bali Hai. Full spoilers ahead, so if you have not seen the episode, please go ahead and watch it. And I'm going to do my usual thing where I turn on an extra light. I almost feel like it'll be just a trend for myself. So anyway, this is one of those I would call a filler episode. But in the best possible way, because what they filled in there, what they stuffed into this filler episode is really, really good. It is something that's going to lead to payoff later, but what they put in there is fantastic. So, to start off with, Jimmy's trying to sleep in his, Davison, Maine, paid for apartment, condo, whatever it is. Can't sleep. He's up throwing his little pine cone balls around, watching TV. He finally gives up and goes back to the nail salon parlor where he breaks everything down and he falls asleep like a baby because he was comfortable there, more comfortable there than, in the Davison, Maine place. And, he wakes up and whatever, but then they switch to Kim Wexler. She's brushing her teeth, she's sitting there getting ready for work, waiting for a call, and she's just about to leave, and the phone rings and she doesn't answer it, but it's Saul singing Bali Hai from the movie South Pacific. I didn't know about South Pacific songs or where that song came from because I'm not a big musical guy. I pretty much can't stand the majority of musicals, but it was a really clever touch. She really smiled about it, but you can also tell that she's kind of keeping her distance from him, but she still wants to hear his South Pacific thing. So she smiles and goes out to work. He's in his office telling her that next they're gonna sing the full catalog of the Carpenters, which was pretty funny as well. Then you get her, walking, basically with her boss who, doesn't respect her. The only reason he gave her the position back was because of Chuck. And she's starting to notice, she's starting to accept the fact that any time there's a hiccup, he just throws her down to the basement. So then, a lot of this story is not about Jimmy. It's mostly about Kim and Mike. So we have Mike coming home, and there's a guy in his step, a Latino fellow, who basically wants an answer to what Hector Salamanca asked him. And he just respectfully declines. He goes indoors. He's got a welcome mat. He's got all this other stuff. He puts the welcome mat out, and you don't think anything of it. Well, then we go to Kim, and she's in the courtroom, and she does a really good job of trying to, stop these defendants from, I can't even Piper. I don't know what their name is, but starts with, it's like an SC, and she does a really good job at trying to stop them from making a motion, which is pretty much unwinnable. But the guy is so impressed. The head guy is so impressed that he comes out there. They go to lunch. And he basically offers her a job that'll take care of her student loans and all sorts of stuff. And it's very tempting because he basically says, that they don't respect you. That Howard doesn't really give a shit about you. And she's starting to see that more and more. So, we get to Mike coming home, and he checks the foot. Under the welcome mat, he put this paper that has imprints on it to check footsteps. And it's so smart. Mike is so smart. Well, I want to get to all that stuff, man, because it's more interesting than the Kim stuff. But Kim grows out, is told by Howard's secretary or some lawyer that he wants all this paperwork done by 2:30, and she wants to go to lunch. And basically they're like, well, we've got petty cash, we'll buy you lunch. And she basically just was like, screw this, I'm out. She goes to a bar, she has a drink, and she notices this guy kissing a lady and putting her in a cab, and you basically are seeing like probably a man and his mistress, you know, and that guy proceeds to buy Kim a drink, and Kim, supposedly falling for it, gives Jimmy a call and says, "I got a mark. Come, how quick can you get to Albuquerque?" So he gets down there like he's bored because they're putting him through the motions at Davis and Maine. So he's more than happy to get out of there. And they end up taking this guy for 10 grand with another little scheme that they come up with about some business. And remember when this takes place? This takes place well before Breaking Bad, so it was about a website that, you know, helps people hook up with each other, which would have been pretty interesting at the time, like new and whatever. So that's kind of like the end of their story a little bit. So we get to Mike, where he's coming home, like he's told these guys off, and he comes home and he notices something, and he comes in with his gun drawn, goes through the house, and he knows somebody's there, so he turns on the TV to let them think that he's relaxed. And as soon as two guys come out, he just proceeds to take them down like nothing. Like nothing. And he wants to know what they were doing there, and they're like, "You're supposed to send a message, you're supposed to take the money." Well, he tells them to get out. And he goes, you know, cut to like where he's with his granddaughter playing in a pool, and it's a really cute scene because you always see Mike as a tough guy, but like he really cares about his daughter-in-law and his granddaughter. And all of a sudden on the rooftop, we have a callback, one of the best callbacks ever. It's the two crazy well, not twins, but the two crazy brothers from Breaking Bad that almost took out Hank, standing on the rooftop, like just in a little bit of the distance, and basically go to like her, and that makes Mike lose it. So he finally goes to see Hector Salamanca. They pat him down. They know he's got a gun. They don't care. They're basically telling him, "You're gonna do this, or you know your friends are gonna die." And he's like, he somehow gets Hector Salamanca to give him 50 grand, and he goes home, and Nacho comes over, and Mike gives him 25 grand out of the 50 because he didn't kill Tuco, and he basically warns him that Tuco is going to be out sooner rather than later. So pretty good stuff right there. Other than that, like, I'm trying to remember if there was anything, like, I mean, Jimmy basically is kind of like, you can see, like, in the promo, he starts buying those colorful suits. So we're about to see some really good shit from the show, some more, and I think there's like 4 episodes left, so we've got a lot of ways to go, and I'm hoping that before the end of the season, we might see Gus Fring, but maybe not. So I'm giving this definitely a 10 out of 10, because all the stuff with Hector and Mike is great. Seeing Kim and Jimmy work a guy is great. So, yeah, and I'm looking forward. I didn't catch what the next episode's called, but stay tuned for that. I'll have that up as soon as it comes out, hopefully. And otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.